Is it the right time for you to be buying or selling a home? Don't go it alone. Trust the team at dangemus.com.
I just wanted to say kudos. I thought it. A lot of people are thinking it. You said it.
This is the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to the show. It is time for our segment with Chris Gibb from Gibb Insurance Brokers, all about insurance. We talk home insurance, auto insurance every couple of weeks. And hey, Chris, how are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a crazy busy week. You can tell that we're finally over January. It's been the longest January ever.
Yes, it has.
Truly. But here we are we're approaching the middle of February already, so it's pretty crazy. It goes by fast.
It does. It does.
So what's happening in the wonderful world of insurance the last couple weeks?
You know, insurance is just, you could do a whole show just on insurance, but there was something that's been in the news lately I thought your listeners might want to, get some info on.
Tell us about it.
That's about how do red light cameras and perhaps these new speed limit cameras affect your insurance policy.
Great topic. Now, before you get too far into this, I have to say, it's funny you're talking about this today, because just this past week, I got a surprise in the mail.
Oh, was it a late Christmas card?
It was a late Christmas card from the city of Ottawa when we were there for the World Juniors. And I was like, what's this? This is interesting. It looks almost official. Open the envelope, and sure enough, a picture of our car, one of our cars, and with the speed camera that caught us. So immediately I'm like, it must have been Nikki driving, obviously, because I don't speed.
Obviously. No.
But sure enough, yep, we got a speeding ticket from a camera in Ottawa. And it caught me going 59 in a 40. So I know. So I'm like, what? No, not me. It must have been Nikki driving.
It had to be. It had to be Nikki.
My first thought, because if I recall, just from the picture that the vehicle's on, the picture that it caught me on, that was a pretty busy street. And I guarantee you they must be raking in the cash with this camera.
Yes, from what I'm seeing, both on the insurance level and the municipal level, these speed monitoring cameras are really certainly raking in the cash. Once you set it up, there's really very little additional cost.
Oh, my goodness!
You think if you have to have a police officer sitting there, they make over $100,000 a year. So
100%, yeah. And I'm assuming the residents living around that camera probably know it's there, unless they move them around. I know that they've talked about doing that in the city of Windsor, moving them around. But there's no doubt. Like, to me, I would have probably thought that was a 50 and I was going 59, right? So who knows? But I'm sure, and I think that I paid it, I think it was $250-ish, 220 or something like that, 225. It was something like that. So, it's Okay, so from an insurance standpoint, now it doesn't know if it was me driving or Nikki driving. So how does that work?
Well, that's exactly the point, is because these cameras can't determine who the actual driver is, then the penalty is assigned to the vehicle owner. So that, much like a parking ticket, that is not something that your insurance company will be able to access, because it won't be attached to your driver's abstract or your driving record. It's only attached to the license plate of the car. So while you still have to pay it, the good news is it won't make your insurance more expensive. It won't hit your insurance policy yet.
I haven't had a speeding ticket, and I can't even tell you how long. And who would have thought that my next speeding ticket would be from a camera? Son of a gun.
Would be from a camera in Ottawa. See, this is Big Brother following you around.
The World Juniors were so disappointing in so many ways, and that's another reason right there.
Welcome to Ottawa.
Oh, man. So I'm assuming the same situation with red light cameras then.
Yes. Yeah. Red light cameras, speeding cameras, all of those. They don't get attached to your driver's abstract with your driving license, so they don't translate into an increase in your auto insurance.
Okay.
So at least there's, the city of Ottawa may have tried to dampen your day, but Chris Gibb from Gibb Insurance, he always brings you good news.
Oh my goodness! But from now, listen, you're also deputy mayor of the town of Amherstburg. I would assume that from a municipal standpoint, this, like we said earlier, it's driving revenue like crazy. It must be. It must be.
Yeah, from everything I can see, yes, it is. Is it as effective as having a police officer stop a car on the side of the road and
No.
The 100 cars that go by while they're writing the ticket see that? I don't think it's as effective.
To me, I think it's a revenue generator. It's all it is. It's all it comes down to. You know what? Now, let me say this. Having just gotten one, I don't really... to me, if the municipality has... Now, I'm going to get lynched for this, but I don't...
Join the club.
Truly. But if there's a way to raise revenue, right, why not grab it from those that are, doing the wrong thing, really, as opposed to the tax base generally just trying to live their lives? Why not grab it from those of us that are speeding and get caught?
I absolutely agree with that. It's very funny you say that because... in my other life as deputy mayor in Amherstburg, we get quarterly reports from the Windsor Police Amherstburg detachment, and I mean, they are writing record numbers of tickets in Amherstburg. And I really think that's the most fair way to target the bad drivers. If we put in a speed bump or other trying to traffic calming measures, it affects everybody. Where speed cameras or radar with police, that just affects the people who are breaking the law, causing the problem. Now,
I will support this fully as long as Dan Gemus knows exactly where every stop and every camera and every police officer is sitting. That'd be really ideal. But no, there's something to be said for that for sure. Every municipality is having a hard time, with budgets right now. But on one hand, like you said, it's not affecting your insurance, so that's definitely a good thing.
Well, and I think from a higher level perspective, we all know there's a societal cost for people that have exhibit bad driving behavior,
sure.
Running red lights, speeding. There's a cost to that. In far as the number of accidents, you need your police, fire, and ambulance to show up. Just poor behavior, poor driving behavior, it does cause problems. And maybe the revenue generated from these cameras would then be used by the municipality to put in better traffic, intersections or design roads a little differently so they're safer. So, I don't think it's just, I wouldn't say it's just a money grab from a municipality. I think there's a cost to people driving poorly, a societal cost. And this is a way to kind of punish the people who do it and then use the money to make everybody safer.
Now, Joyce just stepped back in from a phone break here. She was on the phone with the client. But have you had a speeding ticket in the last little bit? Joyce, when's the last time you've had? No?
I remember one time, like years and years and years ago, I was late for an appointment to meet a client, and I was driving down like county roads, and I was bombing. I was purposely speeding to get where I needed to go faster. And as I'm going on a side road, I saw the nose of a cop car.
Oh.
And I was like, this is the funniest part of the story. I literally just turned into the road because I was like, yeah, I'm screwed.
And he pulled you over?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got ticketed.
I just pulled right over.
I was just like, I surrender.
Well, if we have a few minutes, I'll tell you what I think is kind of a funny story. Years ago, one of my clients was he was out of town, spent the night in a hotel, and woke up the next morning, and his truck was stolen.
Oh, no.
Right out of the parking lot of the hotel. So, now he's got to arrange a ride back home and all the hassle that goes with that. And a few weeks after the truck was stolen, he got a ticket in the mail that the people who stole his truck went through.
Wow.
And he had to go and fight that ticket.
Wow. Well, it really, think about it. Like the ticket that I got, it could have been anybody driving. It could have been, whoever.
It could have been me.
It could have been Joyce. Yeah.
You know what? It probably was Joyce.
It probably was Joyce. You're absolutely right, Chris. That's who I'll blame. $250, please, Joyce.
Yeah, try.
Oh my goodness! Now,
Did you just add inflation to that ticket? Didn't you say
know
it was
what?
a little less than that?
I had a tariff. I had a tariff for the ticket. A little too soon. So now, Chris, everyone is getting their renewals in the last 6 months or so. They're all increasing. We talk about this every time, but just no one enjoys seeing their prices going up, right? Obviously,
No. And you know what, Dan and Joyce, I've been doing this for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And I have never seen such pressure on home insurance rates. I mean, it's absolutely jaw-dropping. Even for me, who sees it, daily, I've never seen rates going up as fast as they're going right now. Ugh. And the wide spread of rates. Some companies can be double what another company would be. So it's definitely a situation where if you're if you don't have claims, if you've been a good customer, you need to shop around, because the rates we're seeing right now are absolutely, or I should say the rate increases are absolutely jaw-dropping.
Now, Chris, what do you mentioned that, you'll see a massive difference from one company to the other. What drives that? Is it just the company's appetite at that moment? Like what? Like, could they theoretically be cheaper today, and then when you go to renew again next year, they'd be much more, and someone else be cheaper? Is it just their appetite at the moment?
It's very, very complex. Insurance, when I was a young whippersnapper, was pretty simple, but now every insurance company has rate algorithms that take in different factors. And all kinds of things that we never used to think about. The age of your roof can change a price between companies, whether you have a mortgage or not, the geographic location you live in. It's your what we call your insurance score, which is sort of a personal score that you have based on different factors. They're all trying to build a better mousetrap. Yeah. And there's not, house insurance in Ontario is pretty standard. There's the product is it's almost a little bit like a commodity, where the products are very, very similar to one another, but the price can just vary widely. So it's up to the consumer to do your due diligence, shop it around. You might find out you think it's a high price, but compared to what's out there, it's could be a steal.
Yeah,
you just don't know.
Now, before I let you go, Chris, I forgot to ask you at the top of the segment, but our fun question today is: what's one piece of advice you'd give a first-time home buyer? Putting you on the spot, what's one piece of advice you'd give a first-time home buyer?
Oh, from an insurance guy perspective, be sure to ask your realtor if the house has Kitech plumbing.
Kitech plumbing. Yep. Great tip.
Plumbing.
Okay.
Very, very limited number of insurance companies that will even look at it. And it's something that, today's first-time home buyer doesn't even think of.
Yep.
So
Great
definitely ask your realtor about Kitech plumbing. I think I want to say that's houses built in sort of 93 to the early 2000s.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, in that range. Yeah. Yep, 100%.
So, those would be the houses a lot of first-time home buyers be looking at. Ask your realtor, have your inspector specifically look for that Kitech plumbing.
Great tip, Chris. What's the best way to reach out to your team if someone has questions or they want to get a quote?
You know what? If somebody wants to reach out, the easiest way is shoot me an email. It's chris@gibbinsurance.ca, chris@gibbinsurance, all one word, .ca. Or you can feel free, call the office. Danielle and Emily will answer the phone, 519-736-8228.
Fantastic. Chris Gibb, as always, great job, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks.
You got it. Thanks, a great weekend, you two.
You too. There you go. Chris Gibb with Gibb Insurance Brokers. Great tips today, and so fascinating with the red light cameras and the speed cameras, and I know no one enjoys it, but I got caught in Ottawa, so there you go.
Be careful out there.
Be careful out there for sure. Okay, Joyce, what do you say we come back and we're going to get some more of our fun question answers. They're streaming in here, and we'll have lots of fun. Okay, lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.